Woo! What's up, homies of the underwear? Lugnuts.Guapo coming at you from Maverick Harley Davidson, and today, where is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah! Roll that intro! Alright, so this Sportster right here is a Sportster 48. This particular one is a 16. They are still being manufactured. We've gotten a couple, or maybe they're done manufacturing, they just haven't sent them out. But needless to say, 2020, we're still getting these from the factory. And it's obvious why, because it's freaking awesome. It is one of my all-time favorite Sportsters, right behind the Roadster for performance reasons as opposed to looks, because I think if it came to looks, this right here would be the one that takes the cake. And of course, I'm not just gonna say that and be like, okay, later, like, subscribe, and whatever. They will talk about that here in a second, so roll that clip, shall you? Now, we all knew and we all predicted, probably like 3 years ago, that this power plant is on its way out. The Sportster will no longer continue to be the Sportster that we all know and love. And well, the Sportster S has arrived, and I found some design cues that were very similar, didn't you? I mean, fat front tire, fat front forks. Of course, the new one has an inverted front end. The look in general, kind of like almost like a bobber slash, can be whatever you want it to be motorcycle. It was a no-brainer. I mean, the Sportster S is basically the new 48. And with that said, here is why I personally love this motorcycle, and it doesn't come without its flaws, so let's talk about it. Now, long ago, when this particular model came out with this big, massive front tire, handling was one of the biggest questions that people had in their minds, because usually stuff with that big front end, and when I mean front end, big, fat, juicy rubber on the front, they usually don't handle well. For example, the Fat Boy. The new Fat Boy has a tire so wide that it cannot turn and get out of its own way. But this right here proved to be different, and it handles amazing. It feels fantastic. The way that that just handles it's just like no other Sportster. That you compare that with the, I don't know, like the Roadster, which is obviously meant for a little bit more clearance, a little bit more lean angle. Yes, I get that, but for something that is cool and you can ride around town, this right here has the looks, and this front tire, this front end is a huge part of why we love the 48. Now I will point the obvious, which is the gas tank. That gas tank is one of the most iconic parts of this motorcycle, and that in combination with that front tire, whew, mwah, it looks fantastic. That little peanut tank is just, it has style. It just completes the motorcycle, but it comes at a cost because you don't get a lot of fuel in there. Therefore, if you're lucky to make it past 100 miles, and well, I guess it depends on how you ride, but for most people, riding this, it's impossible not to crack that throttle wide open and just suck through that gas like nobody's business. That is one huge downfall of this motorcycle. Then, of course, the heart of it all, the part that we're saying goodbye to, the Evo motor. That thing has been in production in this state with some changes for the last 2 decades, and of course the Evo has been around for even longer than that. There is nothing necessarily amazing about this motor. It does not, how do I put this? When you buy a Sportster, you're not buying something that goes fast. Unless you put, a kit that makes a 120 horsepower machine, then yes, okay, obviously. That in its basic form and its stock form, there's nothing special, but that's what makes it special. You see, how this motorcycle makes you feel is like no other. You get on any old Evo and they all have a personality. This motorcycle has an immense personality, and I'm gonna miss that about it. So is a Sportster the first bike that you should buy, or is you should buy one at all? Well, that's a really good question. I usually tend to steer people away from the Sportster as their first bike, and a lot of people give me a lot of crap for that. The truth is, it's a bike that serves a very specific purpose. This is not a bike that if you commute on the highway all the time, this is maybe not the best choice. I'm not saying that if you have one and you're not going to take it on the highway, that, you know, if you do, it sucks. That's not what I'm saying at all. Most people tend to enjoy a soft toe that can have that extra gear or, you know, that extra power to get on the highway. I mean, this is, if you're zipping around town, you live downtown in the Metroplex, or even out in the country and it's just open, there's not a lot of traffic, this bike is absolutely amazing. If you're a first-time buyer, this is not a bad option, but it is top heavy. If you get like, you know, Softail standard, you know, the weight is down low, it's well balanced, it's plenty of power that you can grow into, and it's just not too much. If this is what you're considering, drop your comments below, like, subscribe to this video if you like this content, and until I see you next time, get on your Harley on 2 wheels and get some wind therapy. Later.